Margaret was different. She had a life of her own, slightly mysterious but very real. She dressed carefully, went out, to concerts, to the theater now and then. It was even rumored that she had a small group where she played bridge for infinitesimal sums of money, something of which the Crescent disapproved on principle, although it bought lottery tickets at hospital fairs without compunction. When at last I went back to my room, I was still wondering. Not only about Emily and Margaret, about all our women. Save Helen Wellington, none of us lived interesting or even active lives. It was as though our very gates closed us away. The men went out, to business, to clubs, to golf. They came back to well-ordered houses and excellent dinners. Even old Mr. Lancaster had a club, although he rarely went there. But the women. I remembered a call I had made on Helen Wellington shortly after she married Jim. "What do you do, all of you?" she asked. "You got 24 hours a day to fill in." "We have our homes, of course. You'll find that we consider them very important." "And that's living? To know how many napkins go into the wash every week?" "We manage. It isn't very exciting, of course. It was harder when I first came back from boarding school, but I'm used to it now." Used to it. At 20. That's ridiculous. And because she too was young, I had told her about having to let down my skirts before I came back for each vacation. That was when skirts were very short, and turning them up laboriously as soon as I reached the school again. She had thought it so funny that she had screamed with laughter. But I wondered that night if it was really funny at all. 20, she had said, and they've got you. Well, they've never get me. And perhaps it was as a result of those reflections that I took a book that night and went down to the library. By years of custom, on nights when Mother has gone to bed early, I have sat in my room with the door open, in case she might need something. Now I went down and turned on all the lamps. Not the few we ordinarily use, but all of them. And it was into this blaze of light that, at 10:30, Annie showed Inspector Briggs. He came in, pinching his lip thoughtfully, and with a faintly deprecatory smile. "Sorry to bother you again, Miss Hall." "That's all right. I'm interested, naturally, if that word is strong enough." "That's a good chair, Inspector." He sat down, remarking that the night was cold and the room warm, and then said rather abruptly that he had dropped Jim Wellington at his house on his way in. I thought you'd like to know, he said, rather too casually. I can't see why you took him in the first place, I said. Well, he replied, smiling again, the police aren't miracle workers. They are only a hard-working, plodding lot at the best, and the fact that we've released Wellington doesn't mean so much at that. The plain fact is that we've got a fair case against him now, but nothing to take before a jury. There's a difference, Miss Hall. And you've come here for help? He shook his head cheerfully. No, he said. I hadn't meant to come here at all, but I saw the lights, and you're an intelligent young woman and as near to a witness as we've got. I'd like to know, of course, what you dropped on the pavement last night and went back for, but I suppose you won't tell me, eh? My handkerchief. You would swear to that, on the witness stand? Under oath? I was silent, and he nodded. You see what we're up against, he said. I'll not try to bully you. Whatever it was, you've probably destroyed it anyhow. But it's just possible that that sort of silence can send the wrong person to the chair. You might think it over. Our man thinks it was an envelope of some sort. And when I still said nothing, he went on,